Hey, good morning, everyone. So again, one of the great things about having a channel that nobody watches is you get to talk about whatever you want. So today, I'm going to talk about why, even though Bitcoin is at $57,000 and it's heading to $1 million in a decade or whenever, why that won't matter for you, because Bitcoin's not going to make you rich. And the reason for that is because you have no idea how to manage money. Because if you think that you're going to take your Bitcoin and sell it for a Lambo one day, that's the mindset that's going to keep you poor. So just, you know, quickly going over prices, Bitcoin at 57,000, Ethereum over 2,000, Binance, Polkadot, Cardano have all been pumping recently. Litecoin's up a little bit. So Bitcoin Cash back in the top 10. So that's where the prices are right now. But I want to get into more about why. This chart right here kind of really explains it. It took a pandemic for people to actually start saving their money, because typically you would save anywhere between 6 to 7 to 8% of your income as Americans per year, and like apparently that is actually equates to less than $1,000 to $5,000 of savings, total of savings, not like accumulated savings. But this right here, this spike, this is back in April, March of last year. So it literally took a pandemic, everything to be shut down, and you were essentially forced to save your money because you couldn't go anywhere. That's what it took for you to save your money. That's what it takes for Americans to save their money, because they're not taught finances in school. They're not taught how to manage their money. So this kind of leads into the next point, is that nearly 70% of Americans have less than $1,000. And this was 2 years ago, but it's still relevant. It's not like that has changed a whole lot. So that $1,000 is kind of equal to the 6 to 7 to 8% savings rate that you were looking at the other chart. And if you go down further here, you can see that add up 12, 24, 45, that's 81%. Over 80% of Americans have less than $5,000 in their savings account. Now, I don't entirely blame, Americans for their lack of financial literacy, and that's mainly because it's not taught in school. I took an economics class in high school, and I don't even think that it was, well, it perhaps was required, but they don't go over like how to manage a personal savings account, or like how to manage your money, like to know what's coming in, what's coming out, how much you're spending on things. So just to real quick, like I do want to help y'all out, and now the videos are going to get really boring and technical. So if you're gonna downvote, please do it now. But here is where this is how I manage my income. So here I've taken this $31,200 is $15 an hour, working 40 hours a week, and then you have to consider taxes right here. But essentially, your monthly income is about $2,100. And this is, it's just doing some math. Just focus on this one column right here. It says 2019, but it could apply to any year depending on how much you're making. And then assuming that you can get an even 10% raise every single year. So then down here, I break out all of the expenses that I have every single month and how much that costs me. And also, most of the time when those payments are expected to be made, what day of the month typically those fall on. But haven't filled them all out. But if you just go through here and list out everything, like if you think of everything that you spend money on, maybe it's rent, utilities, car payment, insurance payment for your car, you have 2 student loans, you pay for Amazon Prime, you have 2 credit cards, you spend some money on gas, food, and groceries, you have some random crap that you don't know what you spend your money on, it's just gone every single month, but it's about $100. Then you spend money on phone, internet, and maybe you go to the gym. So based on your income, which was $2,100, your total expenses, all of this right here, is $1,700. So that means that you have $417 left over at the end of the month to spend on making investments and saving and trying to grow your wealth. Like, it's not that hard. Like, mentally, I think it takes a leap to actually get to this point. But I mean, this is how you can actually save and create your money and grow it, is by understanding and seeing where it's going, how much is coming in, how much is going out, and where it's going to, how much is left over. And then what you can do with this is, maybe you buy into Bitcoin, or you buy some other stock investments or a bond, or you talk to a financial advisor or a friend that you really trust, and you invest your money wisely, and you save it and you grow it over time. You don't get into anything risky or speculative, or things that look like a lottery ticket, like, oh, if I just had 1,000 shares of whatever, then and if it goes to $1 million, then I'll have $1 billion or whatever it is. But this is how you make those first steps into managing your own money. It's by listing out your expenses, listing out how much your income is, understanding taxes. And how I personally do it is I let the government take out the full amount of taxes per year. I don't list any dependents, so that they take out the max from my paycheck, so that it forces me to live on less. And also at the end of the year, or the beginning of the next year, when you file your taxes, you will always get money back, because they will always take out more than they need, which some people say is essentially a free loan to the government, which I see. But in situations like this year, where I'm going through a job change, where if I had to pay $9,000 in taxes, then I would be screwed, because I don't have enough money to pay for that. And so that's just how I like to manage it. I like to make sure that I get a rebate back at the end of the year, or at the beginning of the next year when you file your taxes. So that's just one little strategy that I like to do. But this is, you have to learn how to do stuff like this. And so it's just, I really don't know what else to say. Is like, because if you're not doing this, you're going to be, one of these 80% of people that have less than $5,000 in your bank account. Now, I hope that, some of y'all that actually watch these videos, or the one person that actually watches this video and likes it, has more than $5,000 in their savings account, and it has taken me years, like literally. Okay, ramble. I moved to the current city that I'm in, and I had nothing, absolutely nothing. I had, I think, maybe $3,000 in my savings account, but then that got dwindled down to nothing when I met my previous girlfriend, because she liked to go out to eat a lot, and I, would want to, take her out to eat, and so I would spend my savings, and so literally my savings went down to $0, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. Now, I have a college degree, so I had a decently okay job, but where I live is very expensive, and so it did make it difficult to try and save while trying to, take my girlfriend out to eat or whatever. And so it was a hard situation. So what I did personally is, over the past 2-3 years, I try, because if I knew, like, for me personally, if the money was in my bank account, then I would spend it. And so how I was able to circumvent that is I would buy physical silver, bullion, coins, bars, physical silver, and have it delivered to my apartment. And it wasn't in my bank account. I couldn't spend it, but it still had and held value. And, I would buy just, $100 or $200 worth of silver every couple of weeks or something like that, and build up my savings over time. And so over the past, 2 or 3 years, silver has actually, and gold, I invested in gold and some other precious metals, but those have increased in value. And now when it increased in value, that really helped me, because I was able to put that into other investments that have then since gotten a lot more valuable. And so that was just one strategy that helped me. It's like, if you have trouble saving money, if it's in your bank account and that you're going to, even if it's in your savings, you could just easily transfer it to your checking, and then it's spendable within seconds. If you have that problem, then maybe you need to look into buying things that hold value that you can't easily get rid of with a swipe of a card. So like buying physical silver, you have to in order to sell it, you have to physically drive down somewhere, and wait in a lobby, and then go through a whole process with whoever's buying it from you, and it takes time. And so that amount of time makes it harder for you to liquidate, essentially. And so that's one of the properties of gold and silver is that it is somewhat easily liquid, but it's just not as liquid as, swiping a credit card or anything like that. So if you can find something that actually holds value, like even collectibles, or art, or I mean, yes, there's Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. I was trying to mainly stay away from mentioning that because if you're in the mindset, if you're one of these people that have less than $5,000 in their bank account, or 1,000, like 'cause most people don't have anything. Almost half of Americans don't have, and that blows my mind. That really does. I can't believe that. I mean, the government has given us $1,200, $600, and we're about to get another $1,000 or something like that. I don't know. And then even the people that are on unemployment that apparently are either making the same amount and or more sometimes in their certain circumstances with the extra added stimulus check. I think it's like $600 per week or something at the time it was. Even those people, like if you're making extra money from nothing, and if you're not spending any money driving to work, or fixing your car, or paying for a bus fare, or transportation expenses, it is tempting to buy stuff and to spend money on things and to feel good about buying things, but you need to get over that mindset, because buying things and having that instant gratification mindset, that is what is going to keep you poor. And so you really need to have the mindset to buckle down and to say, I'm going to save this money. I'm going to buy, one of the collectibles that I buy is Magic the Gathering booster boxes. I keep them sealed, and they mainly retain their value very well. You might have to sell them on eBay and take like a $10 cut, but they actually increase in value over time, because once a certain amount of cards have been printed, they don't go back in time, and I mean they could, but they typically don't go back in time and reprint a whole bunch of cards that have been out of print for years. Occasionally they'll do that with a handful of cards, but not entire set boxes or anything like that. So essentially there's scarcity because people open them over time and they play with the cards, and the cards get damaged or whatever. And so like if the longer you hold on to it, the fewer other product will be out there, and therefore it will increase in value. Kind of the same thing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, is that because Bitcoin has a set limit, and we know that potentially millions of coins have already been lost, that the Bitcoin is actually almost hyper deflationary, in that not only is there a set supply, and so that in itself is sort of deflationary compared to the US dollar, which is hyperinflationary. Because people lose their Bitcoin every single day, the amount of Bitcoin that is available for trading or for holding just dwindles every single day. And so it's scarce. It's a scarce digital commodity that has and retains and maintains and increases in value. And so while I think, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies are a great way and place to put your money, first you need to have the mindset to be able to do this. You need to create yourself a spreadsheet. You need to go over your expenses. You need to go over your income. You need to lay it out, and then you need to stick to it. That's, the hard part. Easy part is making all of this. The hard part is actually sticking to it. So, for the most part, I think I'm pretty good about sticking to this plan. That's why there's this miscellaneous category over here, because occasionally you can't account for, sometimes in your bank account, it just is really obscure as to what it is that you bought, and you still can't figure it out. But must have been important, or otherwise you wouldn't have bought it. But that's, you have to get to this point as a starting place in order to save yourself from being poor. Like, it took me a long time. I've had this spreadsheet for years. For I think it was about when I started buying silver. So I don't own any silver anymore, or gold, or any precious metals. I have moved mainly into cryptocurrencies. That has done very well for me, thankfully. But if a pandemic is what it takes for people in America to actually start saving, I mean, the savings rate is still up pretty high. It's about double from what it was, which is good. But if that's really what it takes for people to learn in this country, it's hard for me, because I want to help people. That's partly why I created this channel, is to help and to explain to people, like, yes, Bitcoin is fun, it's amazing, and it's going to change a lot of the world. And even if you transact in Bitcoin, even if all you hold is Bitcoin, if that's your entire net worth is in Bitcoin, if you don't have those habits of knowing where your expenses are and not just spending your money on things because you've got it, even Bitcoin's not going to save you. So, that's kind of what the whole point of this video is that, even though Bitcoin and everything else is skyrocketing to the moon right now, if you don't have the ability to save and invest and to just not, it's super easy, and and yet it's really boring, because you find the thing that is going to make you money, like Bitcoin or a good stock or a good bond or some other good investment, safe investment. Don't get anything risky or speculative, although Bitcoin is technically risky and speculative. If you just, knowing that you can spread your money into those places is you just leave it there. And that's the hard part, is to not touch it. Like, it's not sexy, it's not fun, it's boring. You just leave it there and you just watch. And you don't touch. And you just, one day, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years from now, maybe, depending on the investment, then you sell it. Or you do what rich people do, is they don't sell anything and they borrow against the asset. So essentially, like with applications like BlockFi, you can give them your Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies or anything like that, and they will pay you interest for lending your Bitcoin to them. And then you also have like dividend paying stocks. And then I keep mentioning bonds because corporate bonds do pay a decent amount. I made some money on the AMC bond when that whole situation was going, to the moon. So just understanding all of this, like open a brokerage account, poke around, figure out. You have to try and you have to fail, and that's ultimately is what's going to make you a more wealthy person. Is failure, is going out there. Maybe it takes for you to buy like a crap cryptocurrency coin. Down. I would just pick a random one, because anything down here is not going to, like, oh, I can't believe Bitcoin Gold is that blows my like, all right, Theta Fuel. I don't even know what the heck Theta Fuel is. Let's say you bought into a whole bunch of Theta Fuel, and then one day it just goes to zero. It literally will probably go to zero one day. I don't know what that does, but maybe it takes failure like that for you to lose your money in order for you to learn. Because all these projects, they're great, wonderful. The only ones that I understand are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So those are the only ones that I invest in. I see Binance, Polkadot, Cardano, XRP, they're all pumping, and it's exciting to watch, but I don't FOMO into it, fear of missing out. I don't rush into these things trying to make an extra buck. I see that I could have, absolutely. When something's up 110% in 7 days, it's got to pull back some. But I don't let the fear of missing out affect me, and I stick with what I know, and I just keep moving forward. So, yeah, it's a bit of rambling, but again, if y'all don't have the mindset to actually save your money and to know what's going on with your finances and money management, then I just kind of feel sorry for you. More power to you. Please learn and do as much research as you can. Do whatever it takes, helps you to learn all of this stuff, because it is very important. Because like I've said multiple times in this video, even though Bitcoin's going to the moon, it's not going to make you rich or wealthy, or your family rich or wealthy, if you still if you're still not able to save and to manage your money wisely. So that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about. If y'all could, please like, share, subscribe, and do all that other cool, fun stuff. Leave a comment. Let me know, what y'all thought of this video. If there's anything else that I can help y'all with, I will try and do my best. Sorry for not making a video in a couple of days. I just took some time off. I was going on some dates, having some fun. You got to live your life occasionally. So I'll see y'all in the next one. Appreciate it.